Hi, everyone, and welcome to StudioJake. I, of course, am your host, Jacob Airy. Thank you so much for joining me today on my vidcast where I talk about all things pop culture from anime, film, television, faith, and so much more. And what's interesting about today is I'm actually diving into a topic that I don't discuss that often. You'll find that out after I remind you to like this video, leave a comment, share it out all over the place, and please subscribe. I'm almost to 1,000 subscribers. That's my goal for this year. I'm over 840, so please help me reach that finish line. I know I can't do it without your help, so I really appreciate it, and thank you to everyone else who has subscribed. All right, diving right into the topic. So, I don't talk about music a whole lot on this channel. I do talk about it frequently on my website, studiojakemedia.com. One of the reasons for that is if you are if you don't start out as a music YouTuber, you can get flagged for copyright. I actually used to do trailer reactions on this channel, but I would get hit with copyright notices even though I wasn't showing the whole trailer on the screen. I would actually just watch it on a tablet and then make facial expressions about that scene. And same for music. And I would constantly get hit with copyright notices, and it'd always be for the music that was in the trailer. In fact, I did a trailer reaction to Wonder Woman where I praised the trailer, and Warner Brothers music copyright struck me. I appealed it, and of course, because I'm small potatoes, YouTube didn't give a crap, and just I had to delete the video because WB actually tried to monetize me, so they were trying to run ads on my channel to get the money when I was doing the commentary. I said, bump that, and that's why I don't usually talk about music here. That's why I mainly talk about it on my website, which I also post those to my locals community, studiojakemedia.locals.com. But I just had to talk about this. This is such an amazing story. So Jason Aldean dropped a single and a music video for it, and the song is called Try That in a Small Town. And it's basically a reaction to the riots and the crime sprees and Antifa. And he has, as he's singing the song where he says, try that in a small town, he has news footage of like Antifa riots and other organizations rioting, as well as shoplifters. And he basically says, and he's making a very cogent point that this is being tolerated in places like Los Angeles, New York, Atlanta, Dallas, even. And he is basically saying, try it somewhere else because you don't want to, because you know that people will rise up. And of course, golly, the social media mob, the woke SJWs, they all wet their pants at the idea that someone disagrees with them and put it into a song. Can you believe it? And the song was running on CMT, and CMT was always kind of, the antithesis of sort of the politically correct music industry, because country music, now there are some weirdos like Sheryl Crow and Miranda Lambert out there who are always like spouting off ridiculous politically correct diatribes, but but they always would at least not censor certain artists. Well, they just cower in a total move of cowardice. They took down Jason Aldean's Try That in a Small video. So this is from notthebee.com. CMT pulls Jason Aldean Try That in a Small Town video because it's racist or something. Par for the course right here. We showed you this Jason Aldean video yesterday. It's called Try That in a Small Town, and it's one of the great politically motivated songs of our current time. And then they list the lyrics. Sucker punched somebody on a sidewalk or jacked on a lady at a red light, and it does some of the things. Yeah, you think you're tough, I'll try that in a small town. Pretty straightforward, and the only way you think this is racist or prolific is that you think black and brown people do these things more often than other races. That's a great point, and that, ladies and gentlemen, would make you a racist. Speaking of that, yeah, the song has been canceled by country music television. Here's CNN with some phenomenal coverage. Multiple outlets have reported that the music video for the single, whose politically charged lyrics have resulted in a backlash, have been pulled from CMT. The lyrics critics say are evocative of vigilantism and racism and sundown towns that practice a form of all white segregation, which people of color and others who are considered outsiders knew they faced violence if they were not out of an era before the sun went down. One commentator called it modern song, sundown towns. So calling out violent extremists, white, black, brown, yellow, even rainbow people who destroy cities with their little temper tantrums is now racist. And on top of that, you'll get canceled for doing so. Other, and then parentheses, other platforms I'm guessing aren't far behind CMT here. Amazing times we live in here, folks. And that's a really important point. Nowhere in the song does he talk about any form of racial identity or racial politics. It's absolutely an absurd thing to say. And in fact, if you look at a lot of these riots, with a handful of exceptions, most of them are done by spoiled rich white kids who have mommy and daddy's credit cards, and they think that they're doing something for social justice. Which, by the way, there is no subgenre of justice. There is just justice. That's all there is, and that's, my opinion. You're welcome to disagree with me. I really don't care if you do. All right, so Jason Aldean responded, in the past 24 hours, I have been accused of releasing a song that has been out since May and was subject to the comparison that I, direct quote, was not too pleased with the nationwide BLM protest. These references are not only meritless, but dangerous. There is not a single lyric in the song that references race or points to it, and there isn't a single video clip that isn't real news footage. And while I can try and respect others to have their own interpretation of a song with music, this one goes too far. And as so many pointed out, I was present at Route 91 where so many lost their lives, and our community recently suffered another heartbreaking tragedy. No one, including me, wants to continue to see senseless headlines or families ripped apart. Try that in a small town for me refers to the feeling of a community that I had growing up, where we took care of our neighbors regardless of differences of backgrounds or beliefs, because they were our neighbors, and that was above any differences. My political views have never been something I've hidden from, and I know that a lot of us in this country don't agree on how we get back to a sense of normalcy, where we go at least a day without a headline that keeps us up at night. But the desire for it too, that's what the song is about. And honestly, the real reason that the social media weirdos are freaking out about this is because guys like me like this song. We do think about how it, talks about being neighborly, how it talks about, helping the person next to you, not throwing a brick through a glass window of their store, not going in and robbing it. We need to teach civics in this country again. The idea of helping one another out, the idea of how to do things basically. Mike Rowe says, when trade training basically started to get eliminated from high school, that left a lot of people displaced. And I agree with him. I'm summing up what he says. I'm paraphrasing him. And Jason Aldean's song is just about that. It's about neighbors standing up and helping one another and coming together. I think it is something that CMT really overshot. They shot themselves in the foot. They look like cowards. And they should be embarrassed by this. This is why I don't care if the whiny SAG members or the WGA members, why they go on strike. Everyone is so spoiled these days. A few people have tried to say, oh, well, it's only like a small percentage of SAG actors that make over X amount of dollars. Okay, even if I believe that, I don't. Then you need to get another job. Whenever I was a janitor and I couldn't afford to pay me and my super cute wife's bills, I had to get another job. That's how it is. And I guarantee you, if I was ever put in a situation where there were a bunch of rioters being whiny and throwing hissy fits and throwing bricks, I would not have stood for that in my neighborhood. And I don't think anyone should. But more and more cities, more and more states, they're starting to take away your right to self-defense. They already lost it in England. I freaking watched a movie that was British the other day, and these two home invaders terrorize a family of four with nothing but a machete, and the family just gets along. Yeah, because the British government has basically prosecuted anyone who defends themselves against weirdos. And that's what this song is about. It's about defending your neighbors, no matter what their socioeconomic or cultural background is. Neighbors need to come together. We need, whether you're red, yellow, black, white, Jew, or Gentile, we need to come together. And good on Jason Aldean for not caving, for not bowing down, and shame on CMT and the corporate press and all these little whiny babies on social media for making a big deal out of this controversy. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope that you'll give it a thumbs up, that you'll leave me a comment, tell me what you think, that you'll share it out with your friends, and of course, consider subscribing to StudioJake. I cover all kinds of nerd and pop culture topics, including film, television, anime, comic books, and so much more. I hope that you'll also head over to my main website, StudioJakeMedia.com, where I have even more news, views, and commentary. Also, if you'd like to support the channel, head over to my locals page. That's studiojakemedia.locals.com. It's the best way to support me. I'm trying to build a little community there. I have exclusive reviews and articles, so definitely head over there and check it out. And I'll see you next time, right here on Studio Jake.